Imagine this. The most powerful tool for living a meaningful, peaceful, and fulfilling life isn't out there. It's already within you. It's not money, fame, or recognition. It's the way you perceive your own worth. Stoic philosophy calls this the art of inner dignity, the ability to know you are worthy, even when the world doesn't tell you so. We live in an age where human value is measured in numbers, salary, likes, or the opinions of others. Amid this constant churn, many quietly diminish themselves. Not because they are weak, but because they've grown accustomed to evaluating their worth by external standards. We stay in jobs that no longer bring meaning, accept relationships that make us feel small, or hide our true talents out of fear of judgment. Gradually, without even noticing, we begin to lose faith in ourselves. The Stoics believe that a person's true worth doesn't come from their circumstances, but from how they respond to them. Whether you live in a palace or a small room, you always have the freedom to choose how you live, to choose not to diminish your own value just because others fail to see it. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The value of a man is measured by the things he gives his mind to." Today's video isn't about teaching you to be arrogant. It's about helping you return to your rightful place, the place of someone who knows their worth, lives by it, and acts with confidence, calm, and wisdom. Together, we'll explore 13 subtle signs that you may be unknowingly undervaluing yourself, and the Stoic perspective to help you change each one. One of the clearest signs of undervaluing yourself is settling for less than you deserve. That isn't humility, it's the result of living too long with the belief that you're not good enough. Many people stay in jobs that no longer bring meaning, continue relationships that hurt them, or pass up better opportunities simply because they fear change. They tell themselves, "This is fine, I can live with this." But beneath that phrase lies a quiet conviction that they don't deserve anything better. When we grow accustomed to lowering our standards, we gradually lose the ability to truly listen to ourselves. We no longer recognize the line between mature acceptance and fearful resignation. The more we compromise, the blurrier the boundary becomes between inner peace and self-abandonment. At first, settling may seem like the safe choice. It helps us avoid conflict, minimize risk, and maintain stability. But over time, it quietly erodes our self-respect. Self-respect doesn't mean demanding special treatment from others. It means refusing to let yourself be undervalued. It begins with small choices, walking away from a toxic relationship, stopping the habit of overworking just to be acknowledged, or simply saying no to things that no longer serve you. Every time you dare to say no to what's wrong, you're saying yes to your true worth. And the most important truth to realize is this: life never gives you less. You're the one who accepts less. When you change the way you see yourself, the world around you begins to change the way it treats you. No one can give you worth unless you believe you deserve it. The second sign is downplaying your achievements. This is one of the most subtle ways people devalue themselves. They work hard, push through challenges, and yet when success finally arrives, they say, "I was just lucky." They minimize their accomplishments, dismiss their own effort, and act as if every victory was nothing more than coincidence. Downplaying your achievements is a sign that you've lost touch with your inner worth. When you stop believing in your own effort, you erode the foundation of your confidence. The mind becomes conditioned to focus on what's missing rather than how far you've come. Instead of feeling joy after accomplishing something, you immediately think about what's next. Over time, that quiet satisfaction of living is replaced by the constant feeling of not good enough, not deserving, or not there yet. Learn to pause after every milestone, no matter how small, and tell yourself, "I did this." That's not flattery, it's acknowledgement. Only when you learn to respect your own effort can you set healthy boundaries, know what enough truly means, and stop seeking validation from others. Because real worth doesn't come from praise. It comes from the quiet awareness that you've worked for something and truly earned it. The third sign is over-sacrificing. You've probably heard the saying, "Giving is receiving." But what happens when you give so much that you forget yourself? If you're always the last person on your own list of priorities, if every plan you make revolves around keeping others happy, that kindness will eventually turn into a burden. Many people confuse selflessness with blind sacrifice, and it's in that confusion that their sense of self-worth slowly begins to erode. When you constantly put other people's needs above your own, you're sending a silent message to yourself. I'm not as important as they are. At first, it feels like love and responsibility, but over time, exhaustion, frustration, and a quiet sense of being unseen begin to grow. You start feeling anger without knowing why, or loneliness even while helping others, because no one can keep giving endlessly when they've already run empty inside. That's why learning to pause isn't selfish. It's an act of honoring your human limits. When you take care of yourself, sleep well, rest when needed, and listen to your body and emotions, you're replenishing the energy that allows you to keep loving and giving. Giving is an art, and that art is only truly beautiful when the artist doesn't lose themselves in the process. The fourth sign, difficulty accepting compliments. There's a strange kind of silence that happens when someone compliments you. Instead of receiving it, you quickly laugh it off, change the subject, or say the familiar line, "Oh, it's nothing." It may sound humble, but in truth, it's a quiet way of denying your own worth. Not because you don't deserve the compliment, but because deep down, you've never truly believed you were worthy of recognition. The Stoics believe that seeing yourself honestly doesn't mean praising yourself, nor does it mean diminishing who you are. It's the ability to observe yourself clearly, without exaggeration, without denial. When you constantly dismiss compliments, you distort your own image, both in the eyes of others and in your own. You start to believe that every good thing that happens is just luck, that success is coincidence, and that mistakes are entirely your fault. Over time, that mindset quietly erodes your confidence in your true worth. Accepting a compliment isn't an act of feeding your ego. It's an act of fairness toward your own effort. It's the moment you acknowledge that you've tried, learned, and grown. When you say thank you calmly, without denial and without pride, you're training your mind to see the truth, that you have worth, you're making progress, and you deserve to be recognized. The fifth sign is fear of making decisions. One morning you open your inbox, a new opportunity is waiting. Better pay, a higher position, but you still haven't replied. You think, what if I fail? What if I don't fit in? So the days pass, then the weeks, and the opportunity slips away. You comfort yourself by saying, maybe it just wasn't the right time. But the truth is, the problem was never the opportunity. It was the fear within you. Many people think they fear making mistakes, losing something, or facing bad outcomes. But on a deeper level, it's really the fear of not trusting their own judgment. When you've grown used to living by others' approval, you lose the ability to decide for yourself. Every choice becomes an inner battle between the desire for freedom and the obsession with being right. The more you analyze, the more confused you feel. The longer you hesitate, the more you reinforce the belief that you're incapable of making good decisions. The only way to overcome this fear is to accept that mistakes are part of the journey. Every choice carries a lesson, no matter the outcome. Growth doesn't come from always being right. It comes from taking responsibility for your decisions. When you choose with reason and act with honesty, every result, whether it goes your way or not, is still progress. The sixth sign, being obsessed with your flaws. Sometimes when we look in the mirror, all we see are our imperfections, a past mistake, a weakness we haven't fixed, a regretful word. All of it stands out more sharply than anything good we've ever done. We get caught in the game of perfection, where every flaw is magnified and every achievement is minimized. The more we try to fix ourselves, the more we feel we'll never be good enough. And that's how the mind quietly wears down its own sense of worth. The Stoics saw human beings as works in progress, imperfect yet capable of growth. They didn't deny mistakes, but neither did they let those mistakes define them. In their view, every flaw is simply data, an opportunity to learn, not a sentence to self-punishment. When you become obsessed with your flaws, you forget that imperfection is the natural state of being human. No one walks through life without stumbling. The difference lies in whether you choose to stand up again or keep staring at the dirt on your hands. The feeling of not enough is one of the deepest roots of low self-esteem. It makes us constantly compare ourselves to an idealized version that doesn't exist. The harder we strive to reach that image, the further we drift from the truth. A person's worth isn't in perfection, but in progress. A mature person isn't someone who never makes mistakes. It's someone who knows how to pause, observe, and learn from them. Obsessing over your flaws doesn't make you better. It only makes you forget everything you've done right. Learn to see yourself with fairness. Notice mistakes to correct them, but also recognize your efforts to appreciate them. Because when you accept yourself as someone who is still learning, nothing can make you feel ashamed of being imperfect. Constant comparison is another subtle sign that you may be undervaluing yourself without realizing it. We live in a world where everyone is showing off their lives, every meal, every trip, every perfect moment displayed on a screen. With just a few taps, we see hundreds of lives that seem brighter, more successful, and somehow more worth living than our own. Each time we scroll past a photo, an achievement, or someone's smile, a quiet but persistent thought slips in. I'm still not enough. The Stoics saw the root of this clearly. They believe that comparison is a form of losing mental autonomy because it lets your mind be controlled by things beyond your control. When you measure your worth by someone else's standards, you give them the power to define you. Every joy, every sense of satisfaction becomes fragile because the moment someone else seems better, you immediately feel small. Worse yet, you start living not for yourself, but for a race you never chose to enter. The habit of comparing yourself not only fosters insecurity, but it also blinds you to your own progress. Instead of noticing how far you've come, you focus on how fast others are moving. You forget that everyone is born with their own circumstances, abilities, and journey. Comparison is like using someone else's map to navigate your life. It will never lead you to where you truly belong. The eighth sign is neglecting self-investment. No one can expect to reap a fulfilling life if they continually ignore themselves. Yet many live as if their own growth is a project that can be postponed indefinitely. They spend time working for others, pleasing others, but can't carve out even an hour a day for personal development. When joy, energy, and knowledge are drained without being replenished, they start feeling lost, empty, and disconnected from any sense of progress. The Stoics viewed investing in yourself as an act of honoring your own worth. No one can maintain self-respect if they continually ignore their own need for growth. Investing in yourself isn't just about learning a new skill or reading a few books. It's also about nurturing your body, mind, and soul. A strong mind needs to be trained like a muscle. Without use and challenge, it weakens. When you stop learning, stop reflecting, stop asking questions, you're not standing still. You're falling behind. Life is a continuous journey of growth. Each day is an opportunity to become steadier, wiser, and kinder. If you don't nurture yourself, you end up living from your own depleted reserves. But when you begin to devote time, energy, and care to your personal development, you're sending a powerful message. I respect myself. And that becomes the foundation of all true worth. The ninth sign is being dependent on praise and criticism. We live in an age where a single like can shift someone's mood. One compliment can make us feel joyful all day, while a single criticism can leave us crushed for a week. We live as if our emotions are controlled by the invisible hands of others, people who often don't even truly understand who we are. In those moments, we no longer master our own feelings. Instead, we become ruled by the world's gaze. The Stoics saw this as one of the subtlest forms of mental slavery. When you let praise or criticism determine your self-worth, you've handed the keys to your peace over to someone else. They're happy, you're happy. They're disappointed, you're unsettled. Every action becomes dependent on external expectations rather than your inner values. Gradually, you stop living for what is right. You live to be seen as right. Remember, a compliment doesn't make you better, and criticism doesn't make you worse. Both are merely reflections, not reality. You are truly free only when you learn to stand firm between the two, neither inflated by praise nor crushed by criticism. A person's true worth isn't found in the words of others, but in the ability to remain steady in the face of both acclaim and censure. The 10th sign is enduring a toxic environment. Some places drain you within hours. Some people make you sigh every time you see them, yet you choose to stay, out of fear of change, fear of losing stability, or simply because you've grown accustomed to that exhaustion. Many live in negative environments so long that they no longer recognize how it slowly erodes them. They tell themselves it's normal, that it's life everyone has to endure. But the truth is, no one deserves to exist in a space that drains their energy, dignity, or peace. The Stoics believe that while your environment doesn't determine your destiny, it strongly affects your ability to live virtuously. No matter how strong your mind is, it's difficult to maintain clarity when you're surrounded daily by negativity, judgment, or injustice. You can't plant seeds in poisoned soil and expect to harvest sweetness. Yet people often convince themselves to stay. They tell themselves, "At least I have a job. Everyone has to endure this." Or, "Things will change eventually." These words may sound reasonable, but in reality, they're resignation disguised as rational thinking. The mindset of enduring often stems from the fear of loss, losing income, status, or the comfort of familiarity. But deeper still, it comes from not believing you deserve better. When self-respect is eroded, you start accepting less and less, and eventually forget that you have the right to leave. You forget that protecting your own energy and dignity isn't selfish. It's an act of self-respect. Fear of pursuing your dreams is another prominent sign. It creeps in quietly, even before you've begun. It whispers, "What if I fail? What if others laugh? What if it doesn't go as planned?" You listen to these questions so long that you mistake them for reason, when in reality, they are just echoes of self-doubt. So you freeze, procrastinate, and call it waiting for the right moment. But that moment will never come. Fear always knows how to disguise itself as caution. The Stoics understood the nature of this fear very clearly. They believed that people don't fear reality itself, but the images they create in their minds about that reality. We fear failure not because it's inherently dangerous, but because we imagine loss, shame, or judgment. We fear insecurity, forgetting that safety is never absolute. The truth is, every time we avoid a dream, we're not just avoiding fear, we're avoiding a stronger version of ourselves. The courage Stoicism speaks of isn't about extinguishing fear. It's about acting despite it. Fear only exists before we begin. Once we take action, it no longer holds the same power. In Stoic philosophy, a person's true worth isn't measured by outcomes, but by the will to live in accordance with their nature. Pursuing a dream isn't about proving anything. It's about honoring the deepest part of yourself, the part that always longs to live meaningfully and freely. Life will never be perfect for you to start. There will always be risks, doubts, and fears. But it's precisely by daring to move forward amidst them that you truly understand what freedom is. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's not letting fear dictate your path. And when you step forward guided by your inner worth rather than outer fear, even the smallest steps are enough to turn your life into a journey you can be proud of. The 12th sign is denying your inherent worth. There are days when you feel useless simply because you haven't achieved something big. No major accomplishments, no recognition, nothing to show off. You look around and see others moving faster, doing better, living more purposefully. And so you start to doubt yourself, thinking maybe you're not good enough, not important enough, not worthy enough. But there's one truth we often forget. Your worth as a human being doesn't need to be proven. It has existed since the very moment you came into this world. The modern mind is often trained to believe that worth must be earned. You have to achieve, be praised, or prove that you are deserving before you have the right to be happy. But in Stoic philosophy, worth is not a reward, it's the foundation. You don't need to do anything to have value. You only need to live in alignment with the good nature that already exists within you. When we understand this, we no longer have to strive to be enough. We simply need to be real, honest, steadfast, and responsible. Denying your inherent worth is one of the deepest sources of suffering. When you don't believe you deserve love or respect, you settle for less, endure more, and limit yourself. But when you begin to see that worth within yourself, not through achievements, not through the eyes of others, you realize that everything external is merely an extension, not a definition. The final sign is not allowing yourself to be happy. Have you ever found it hard to truly feel joy, even when life seems peaceful? A part of you stays on guard, thinking that if things are too good, something bad must be coming, Or if you feel too relaxed, maybe you're being lazy. That quiet vigilance keeps you from ever fully embracing happiness. You may smile on the outside, but deep down, there's a subtle resistance, as if happiness is something you don't quite deserve. The modern mind is often trained to believe that worth must be earned. You have to achieve, be praised, or prove that you are deserving before you have the right to be happy. But in Stoic philosophy, worth is not a reward, it's the foundation. You don't need to do anything to have value. You only need to live in alignment with the good nature that already exists within you. When we understand this, we no longer have to strive to be enough. We simply need to be real, honest, steadfast, and responsible. The Stoics didn't see happiness as a distant luxury or reward, but as a natural state that arises when we live in accordance with our rational nature and virtue. Happiness isn't found in acquiring more. It's found in letting go of fear, letting go of expectations, letting go of the need to control everything. When you believe that you can only earn happiness after achieving something, you turn joy into a dangling commodity, forever out of reach. Happiness doesn't require you to do anything grand. It only asks that you be fully present in the moment. In a simple meal, a quiet morning, or a moment of gratitude for being alive and able to feel. When your mind stops searching for conditions that make joy legitimate, you realize that joy has always been there, found in every single breath. Allowing yourself to be happy isn't a sign of weakness, it's an act of courage. It takes real bravery to live lightly in a world that constantly urges you to strive, achieve, and prove yourself. Yet it is precisely in that calmness that you discover what every Stoic philosopher sought: the freedom of the soul, a place where nothing more is needed to feel complete. These signs aren't meant to make you feel guilty. They're meant to help you see more clearly how you treat yourself. Sometimes we don't need an external enemy to hurt us, just the false belief that I'm not worthy. That thought leads us to settle for less, stay silent when we should speak, and doubt when we should trust ourselves. The truth is, no one can diminish you unless you allow it. The Stoics taught that a person's worth doesn't come from external recognition, but from living in accordance with reason and virtue. When you clearly understand what truly matters, praise or criticism can no longer shake you. When you realize that failure is temporary, while perseverance is enduring, you begin to live more freely. And when you dare to look at yourself with honest eyes, seeing both your weaknesses and your strengths, you no longer need to seek your value elsewhere. Everything you need is already within you: the clarity to make choices, the courage to act, and the calm to persist. Every day that you live honestly, trust in your own effort, and refuse to compromise yourself to please others, you reclaim your true worth. Because in the end, life isn't measured by what we have, but by how we engage in dialogue with our own soul each day. And if this video made you pause and reflect, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need to hear this today. Because sometimes just a gentle reminder is enough to help someone remember they were never lacking in worth, they just forgot how to see it.